Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the Super Bowl edition of Betting with the Pros. I'm your host, Ronnie P, and joining alongside me is the CEO, the founder of LineSniper.com, Mr. Danny Chiang. Danny, thank
Happy
you for
to be
me
back,
again.
Ronnie. Ready to put some beatdowns on the sports books today?
Brother, I am ready. This is Christmas for us sports better. I mean, what is bigger than the Super Bowl? And you got Pat Mahomes versus Tom Brady. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. I'm pumped for this.
Who do you like? Who do you like, Ron? Before we start,
Who do I like, man? You know what, man? I'm sorry, but Tom Brady looks done to me. I'm not a casual football fan. I watch the games. The ESPN is on Brady's knees. I can't take it. Give me Chiefs -3, right?
All right.
But
we're lucky for us. We don't even have to worry about the outcome of the game. We're just betting the random stuff today.
Because you know what, Danny? I'll be honest, man. But when I joined here, I've learned so much with you guys, and most people want to play the game, but the real money is in these player props, these prop bets. That's where the money's at. So you know what, man? I'm going to tail you to the end of time on all these props we have today. Is that cool?
Absolutely. And what people don't realize is the Super Bowl is such a bet game that all the information is out there. There's going to be no injury. There's going to be no game information that anyone is going to have a real edge on versus the next person. So really, where you're going to find some misinformation or some lines that are mispriced is really going to be in the kind of less followed stuff like the props. And because there are so many of them, even when we were looking through the sports books, we couldn't even comb through all of them that, those are going to be the things that are harder for sports books to figure out versus, the side and the total, which is going to be so widely available and so well researched that it's going to be quite efficient.
No, you're 100% right, and that's why we're going to win some money this week, so I'm ready. But before we go to Super Bowl, we got to go to NBA because that's my specialty. And you got me on this, I think it was last week. I'm loving the Houston Rockets. Could we go more on the Houston Rockets? I mean, look, they just won, I think it was 4 or 5 games straight. Wood wasn't even playing, and they still won the game. Wall seems motivated. He looks like he's ready to go. He's motivated again. Oladipo's back. He's playing good. Boogie's playing great. They have a solid bench. Not only can they win the division, I think they can actually go to the championships. I really believe that in my heart of hearts. What do you think? Am I crazy for thinking that? Or
I love it. If anyone's been following the GameStop craziness of Reddit over the last few days, all these stock market blokes, that's what we're looking for in the sports betting space. We want a 50 bagger, a 100 bagger, and you're going to have to take a little bit of volatility with that. So I like the Rockets. And Ron, name me another team in the West that has 4 guys who are ex-All-Stars in their starting 7.
In the West? I mean, besides the Clippers and Lakers, not even the Lakers.
But even the thing about it, the Lakers have 2 perennial great players, which is LeBron and AD. Right. Don't get me wrong. Great perennial players. No,
you're right.
The Clippers, they have Kawhi and they have Paul George. Perennial great players.
Yeah,
the Rockets, if you look at them, they have John Wall, ex-All-Star, coming off injury. Don't get me wrong. Oladipo, ex-injury guys, motivated. Christian Wood, if anyone's heard the Christian Wood story, great story to research. A guy who, came from nothing, wasn't even a high draft pick. No one really expected anything out of him. Should be an All-Star this year, in my opinion.
Oh, he will be.
But absolutely should be an All-Star this year. Top scorer on the Rockets, too. I think Christian Wood should be the go-to scorer on the Rockets, personally speaking.
24 a game, I believe, right? 24 a game, I think he's averaging.
Crazy. And then they have a 6-man of the year candidate, every year, Boogie Cousins, as well as Eric Gordon. Don't forget about old man Eric. He's a guy who put up 20 points a game easy. So, I love the Rockets. They had a rocky start, but if you look at the standings, and I'll pull them up right now.
No, they're itching back in it, man.
Then we just look at the division standings. Let's look at the division first. Look at this division that they're in, Ron.
Memphis is up in the division?
Wow. If you looked at this division before the beginning of the year, what team would you have said was going to win the division? Besides the Rockets, let's take the Rockets out. Dallas Mavericks. And that team is 2 games behind the Rockets and playing terribly right now. And look at the point differential, if you can see it on ESPN. The Rockets actually have the best point differential out of any team in this division.
Wow.
So I think
I
the
love
market
that.
got way too bearish on the Rockets team when they lost Harden. I think they were like, without Harden, this team isn't going to do anything. Where they didn't
Yeah,
realize is this team could be better than last year's team, actually, from a roster standpoint. So,
they are.
the San Antonio Spurs and the Grizzlies, you can pretty
They're not doing
confidently say, in my opinion, they're outperforming what they should be doing right now quite dramatically. So,
Oh,
you
big
have
time.
the best team massively underperforming. You have these two fairly bad teams overperforming. So the Rockets are right in there.
And
Really
we have
right in there, in
50
my
games
opinion.
left. The season just started.
Right
It's
in
still
there.
early. We're not even halfway done yet. So, yeah, absolutely. So, I wanted to
And
jump on
if you
conference. I want
remember,
to
yeah.
bang this.
Yeah, so
They're
if
not
you
letting us.
remember, we bet the division a few weeks ago at plus 1,600. Right now, I believe the price is plus 950, if I remember correctly, Ron, that we
950. Yep.
placed. And how
So,
much
it's
did you? We tried to put down $500. It's not like we're trying to break the bank here for most people. We're just trying to put down $500. And what did they actually let us do, Ron?
they let us do 315.70. Ooh, thank you,
315.
FanDuel. I appreciate
They're
that.
really worried about that $500 bet, but when they hear the
They are.
footsteps coming for them, Ron. So
They
we
hear it
we
coming.
hammered down the division, and then what do we do on the conference? If you could remind me.
The conference winner, we try to put $500 down on that, and guess what they let us put down? $30.
How much, Ron? The big 30, the big 30 caboose to take down the
30.
business.
But hey, $30 will give us 3,000, and I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that.
I'd be happy with that too, especially because if I remember, we have a nice juicy size from the last week in terms of that
We
little
do.
Rockets Tampa Bay parlay. So.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the Rockets, but I was just going to say that what I love about the Rockets, like their best player, James Harden, just trashed them. Like he dogged them on his way out. Like they're professional athletes. They have pride. And what you're seeing from the Rockets, they're showing you pride. Like they're going to be like, hey, F you, Harden. We are good. We can win. And everyone on this squad is showing you that. And I love this, man. Like I really love this a lot.
Yep.
I'm
I
so
always
pumped for
love
this, man.
teams that have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and I think
Yes.
more so than the offense, where you're seeing that show up with the Rockets. I think you're seeing it night in, night out on their defense, where they're ranked top of the league right now. I think since Harden left, they're ranked like the second or third best defense in the league. And
and the Nets are the worst
regular
defense.
season, it's just where you compete. It's all these guys are good athletes at that level. As long as they're competing during the regular season, you're gonna have a good defense. So. Love to see it.
No, 100%. 100%, man. And isn't it funny how the Nets have the worst defense in NBA history right now?
Superstars don't like playing defense during the regular season.
No, of course not. The three prima donnas, three superstars play defense? Get out of here, man. You're nuts. All right, so that's our basketball take. Let's go to the Super Bowl, baby. Let's do it up, man. Danny,
Absolutely.
What are you loving for the Super Bowl? I'm telling you, you're so good at these props. Whatever you say, I am tailing you. What do we like, Danny?
So in the Super Bowl specifically, one of the angles that I'm looking at this game is the fact that I think both teams are going to sell out. The thing about the Super Bowl is no one leaves anything on the table after the Super Bowl, right? You got your, all the players got to go on vacation. They go back to their places in Florida, have a little bit of break, play some golf. So I think a lot of the players that typically are a little older, who are going to save themselves during the regular season or even the first couple of rounds of the playoffs, they're going to sell out for the finals. And I think that's going to be a trend you see that we're talking about over the first couple bets. So I know you were talking about old man Brady at the beginning of this segment, Ronnie. So why don't we walk through what we're hitting on the old man Brady side of things?
Well, we both love this one. It was Tom Brady over 0.5 yards. That's a quarterback sneak. Come on. Like, he can do that. And his offensive line is so strong. I don't see Kansas City getting to him or sacking him. I think we're good on that. So if we put 654 on that, that's going to give us potential payout of $994.54. Tell me why that's great, Danny. I mean, am I right or wrong?
I love it. First off, I love that it's plus money, obviously. Second off, as we were talking about one of these, sellout moments is if it's 4th and 1, what are they going to do? Tom Brady's going to sneak this ball for 1 yard, and as long as there's not these crazy scenarios where he's kneeling a lot at the end of the game and taking off a lot of negative yards, I think there's a high probability, I think more than 50% for sure, that Brady is going to get 1 yard in this game. So, even another scenario that we haven't talked about is, the 4th and 1 or the 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1 on the 1 yard line. There's a pass interference call in the end zone. Tom Brady's on the 1 yard line and he just sneaks for the yard at the end of the game. And I think this is like one of these weird scenarios where you might see Tom Brady run for 3 or 4 yards if he gets out of the pocket just to get a first down. Whereas, in the regular season, he just throw the ball away. I think he's going to take it on the chin in the Super Bowl in order to get those first downs. So I think there's a little bit of value for sure on the over half a yard rushing.
Dude, this could be his last game. He's going to want to go out on top. He's going to do anything and everything to win the game. If that requires him to run for a yard or two, yes, I'm all over that one. I love that one. I am personally going to take that one as well for this. So that's our first bet on Super Bowl.
The nice thing about this bet specifically is if the Chiefs are blowing out the Bucs,
which they will,
they could. It's definitely on the spectrum of probabilities. Tom Brady is not going to be kneeling at the end of the game. Because it's a Super Bowl, you're much less likely to be kneeling at the end of games. So as a result, what's going to end up happening is, they're going to be tossing the ball left, right, and center, even if they're down by, X amount of points. And as a result, that likelihood of scenarios gets diminished at the end of the games, which leads us to the probability that, Brady could eventually, get that 1 yard rushing. It's not too much to ask, right? Just one. We just need 1 yard.
Just 1 yard, Tom. And I'll even say this, that offensive line, dare I say, okay, I'm a Tom Brady fan. I think he's the GOAT. But that win over Green Bay, people are just, oh, he's the best. He's great. No, that offensive line is great. No, that defense is great. That O-line is not going to let anybody touch him. I'm telling you that right now. I know people make fun of the Washington football team, sorry, but they have a very deadly front seven. Very deadly front seven. And against Green Bay, did they even touch him? I couldn't even have to get his uniform washed. He looked great.
Yep, that's
right?
Let's do it. I agree with you. I think, the Bucs do have a fantastic offensive line that's been playing great in the second half of the year.
Fantastic. And I lost on that game, so trust me, I was hating on the Bucs, but Tom Brady did not win that game. The offensive line won that game, and their defense won. And I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
Absolutely.
3 interceptions, but he's great. I can't watch ESPN, dude. I can't watch ESPN. It drives me crazy. It does. All right, so we're on that. Tom Brady over 0.5 yards. We're going to put $655.30 on that. That's going to give us a potential payout of $994.54. Now, Rob Gronkowski. Mr. Gronk. That was a bad impression, I know. What do you think about Gronk? That was really bad. What do you think about Gronk over 30.5 yards? I mean, if you watch the playoffs, he always has 1 or 2 big yards.
I'm taking the over.
You're on the over on that one?
This is another one of these old man syndrome sessions, I guess, that, I think it's another one of these scenarios. Gronk catches the ball for 5 yards. In the regular season, he's not going to run for another 5 yards just because he's like, I want to save my body. I don't want the contact. You can guarantee if he catches the ball in the Super Bowl that he is going to sell out for those extra 5 yards. He's going to dive.
Absolutely.
He's going to do everything in his power. And you have to remember, the Super Bowl is a high-intensity, high-pressure situation, particularly for players like Brady, who is trying to cement his legacy, etc. So what do players do when they're under high stress or high intensity? In any sport, they're going to go to the things that they're most familiar with. So obviously, Brady's going to hit his Mike Evans, his Godwins, etc. But the guy he's played the most amount of years with on the Bucs is Gronkowski. So if he needs a 3rd and 8 and, he sees a guy open, he's going to be looking for Gronk because he knows that guy's going to make the catch in the clutch moments. You saw it in the last Super Bowl with the Rams. You see it all the time. So look for Gronk to go over some yards this game.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be rushing a lot this game. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, buddy. So, 30 yards, one bomb, just one bomb, 130 yards. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. So, 595 is going to give us a potential payout of $976.85. We're on board with that?
On board. Let's lock it in and get going for the next one.
Oh, and look at that. Fox Bet actually accepts that. FanDuel, you should learn a thing or two about accepting bets. All right, Danny. Our last one for today's show. we were talking about running, and personally, Tampa's run game, they really haven't done anything. I mean, the first half they were nice in the Green Bay game. Second half was really nothing. I think the under 37.5 yards for Ronald Jones, I think that's solid play, man.
Right? I like it as well. So there's a few things that I think are interesting about this under yards. The first is, if you watch the first Chiefs versus Bucks game, the Chiefs didn't blitz Tom Brady at all during this game, and they got lit up by that defense.
Yes, they did.
So I think what's going to happen is that they're going to send the blitz. They're going to have a lot of run stop on their defensive side, and I think that's going to be generally negative for the Bucks run game in general. But more so than that, I think Leonard Fournette has easily been running back number one during the playoffs for the Buccaneers, and they really haven't been using Jones that much. So in a similar situation to, if you think they're going to use Gronkowski because they trust him more, he's a veteran, they're sure as hell going to use Fournette a lot more than they're going to use Ronald Jones, who has had a little bit of a history over the last few games of fumbling the ball. Imagine he gets anywhere close to fumbling the ball, Tom Brady will tear him a new one.
Oh, he's done if he does that. He will not play, and he'll be done. He's not going to play again. And plus, Danny, honestly, I think Kansas City is going to be up this game, and you can't outduel Kansas City running the ball. It's going to be pass heavy, pass happy. That's what I'm going with, man. Right?
Absolutely. So I think, a lot of these factors stack up against the Ronald Jones running yards in this game. I think you can pretty comfortably take him under. I'd actually take any kind of Ronald Jones under props for this game. I know we chose rushing yards, but I think you could also choose like rushing attempts. I think there's a lot of situations where Ronald Jones gets 2 or 3 carries this game and doesn't touch the field again.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope for that. So Ronald Jones under 37.5 rushing yards, $500 will give us $975. And again, they accepted that take. Thank you, DraftKings. DraftKings and Fox bets are awesome. FanDuel, what's up with you, FanDuel? Come on, take my money.
They heard the footsteps behind you, Ronnie. They heard the footsteps coming for them.
Oh, we're coming for them. They know it. We're coming for them. We know it. Hey, before we sign off, Danny, the big game itself, what do you like?
It's one of these ones where I think the line is pretty fair, honestly, at 3 right now.
Yeah.
If you had to make me bet at 3, I'd pick the Chiefs. At 3.5, I'd pick the Bucks, honestly. So, It's one of those super slim margins that, you could take it both ways depending on what your sports book is offering. What I will say is, bet these props. And then I know, Ronnie, by the end of this season, I'm gonna convert you. I'm telling you, from a Phillies fan into a Rockets fan. So just wait a few more weeks. It's gonna happen.
Dude, I follow the Rockets more than the Sixers now, which is sad, isn't it? It's really sad.
For sure. If there's a game on that you have to tune into, you're watching John Wall and Christian Wood. Forget about
Christian Wood. I have to watch him over Embiid. I'm sorry, Embiid. I love you, but I'm sorry. Well, hey, Danny, man, thank you for joining me again. I love all these bets. This is great, and Super Bowl is going to be even better this year. And Andy, I know you're proud of me. See that? I took him at the 3 because you told me about that, Andy. Thank you. See, I learned. You live and learn, man. And if you watch the show, guys, you will learn so much too. I'm telling you. We're not lying to you. These guys know what they're doing. We're going to win a lot of money on Sunday.
And more importantly, we're putting money behind our takes versus, these guys you see on ESPN like Stephen A. They say some outrageous things, but if you told them to put anything behind some of their takes, no way in hell.
Quick funny story. Before the first year I started sports gambling, I listened to whatever ESPN said, and I had the worst year of my life. Like, my wife was about to leave me because I lost so much money on ESPN. Please do not listen to people on ESPN. That's entertainment content. They do not know what they're talking about. Like, do not listen to ESPN. And all you people taking 18 parlays, stop. Stop it. Just stop. Like, we'll say that for another show.
That's good advice, Ronnie. So I totally agree with you. I think that's great advice. So, if any of you viewers are out there.
Oh my! Like, people taking like 18 parlays and they're mad they lost. I'm like, yes, well, you took an 18. It's hard to win one game. You're gonna win 8? Like, stop it, guys.
Sure.
That used to be me, Danny. Used to be me.
Live and learn. Live and learn.
That's right. Live and learn. That's right, man. But again, thank you for joining us. And for
Thank
all
you so much.
watching,
Appreciate it.
like, subscribe to our channel, and join us on our view to $10,000. We win these games, we'll probably be halfway there. So, and if the Rockets win, oh my God, we've outdone ourselves.
If the Rockets win, we're retiring, Ronnie. We're taking
Oh
a
my
day
God,
trip to
yes.
Cabo.
See ya. I'll be on the island next to you, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ronnie. Glad you could chat.
Thanks, Danny. Have a good one, guys. Take care, guys.